at both Allstate and the Hartford. Second is Al Moss. Al is also a member of the Junior Achievement Board of Directors, and Al is Global Vice President of Supply Chain and Procurement at PCI Pharma Services. And then last but not least is my dear friend, Regina Black Lennox. And Regina is Executive Vice President and Chief of Staff at the Satel Institute, which is a think and do tank committed to corporate social responsibility. But I think most importantly, the credentials that Regina brings to this event is, if memory serves, this is her 9th year as a judge at a Junior Achievement Company Program competition. So thank you, all of our judges, for participating tonight, and you'll get to see them in person in a few minutes. So with that, I'm going to step away here and get to watch, like all of, hopefully, our parents, friends, JA board members, and community members that are watching on our YouTube live stream, and turn it over to Stuart, who will explain the format for the evening. Thank you, Stuart.
Paul, before you go, really quickly, there was an audio glitch, so they missed the first 2 judges.
Oh, okay. So let me go quickly. Of course, the two judges who signed my paycheck are the ones that I skip. So our first judge is Jim Flynn, who's the chair of the Junior Achievement Board and a executive, has much experience as an executive in the insurance industry, including both the Hartford and Allstate. And then Al Moss, who is also a Junior Achievement Board member and is Global Vice President for Supply Chain and Procurement at PCI Pharmaceutical Services. And then hopefully everybody heard my introduction of Regina.
Excellent, thank you, and sorry about that.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Paul, for as Paul just said, my name is Stuart Younger. I am the program coordinator for this program. And I always say every year, kind of in my introduction to the students, that that this is my favorite work day of the year. And obviously this year we couldn't have it in one day; it's over multiple days. But I've been really looking forward to this all day, and I'm really excited to have you all here today. So, what are we going to do tonight? Each of our 6 companies this year, who have started back in November and have continued the process to now, have prepared a brief, about 4-minute presentation to tell you their story. These presentations will both talk about what happened to their companies, what did they learn, what did the students learn from running their company, as well what students hope to take with them into the future. After their 4 minutes are up and they've given their presentation, our 3 judges will then ask some questions for roughly 6 minutes, and then we'll kind of go through the next company. We will take some time in between each presentation. So if you look at the stream description, I've included a link to our website where you can find each of the company's company report that they prepared if you want to learn about more of the companies while you're waiting for the next presentation. So with that, I think it's time to get started. So as I told the students before they come on, Blueview will be our first company. So we'll very briefly get that set. So you'll see I see a screen for a second. It won't be the full 5 minutes, and then we'll get started. So thank you so much for joining us, and hope you have a good time tonight.
Yes.
Yes. Great. Hi, we're Blueview. I'm Haley Ryman.
I'm Jordan Malazzo.
And I'm Erin Gasser. To give insight on our company, we sold Blueview blue light glasses as our product. We chose to sell blue light glasses because they were helpful with easing the strain on eyes, which was necessary due to the increased screen time that this current environment has been a large issue for a large amount of people. However, blue light glasses will also remain helpful even post-pandemic, which was an important characteristic that we were looking for in a product. We surveyed customers and we read reviews to choose a product, and we chose 2 lens color options, black and clear, and we sold them for $12 each.
When debating on what product we were planning to sell, we all agreed that we wanted something that would both help people and fit into the current climate of our tech-heavy world. Once deciding on Blueview blue light glasses, we came to our mission statement, which is, with Blueview, we will help ease the strain of everyday electronic use for a clearer life offline. Blueview was created to help combat blue light, and our mission stands by that idea. We donated a portion of proceeds to Lions Eye Bank of Delaware Valley, a charity that gathers research and gives eye care to those in need of cornea transplants.
It was rather simple to design the structure of our company. From this new virtual atmosphere, it was an obstacle to motivate employees to get involved in leadership roles. Traditionally, we would be in person and more comfortable with each other. Even with the presidential positions, every employee assisted with our company and helped make crucial decisions.
The marketing team poured a lot of hard work into making Blueview blue light glasses easily accessible. Our primary focus was on the website, which is pictured to the right, and our social media channels, specifically Instagram and Facebook. In order to reach more potential buyers, we boosted one of our Instagram posts, and it ended up reaching over 8,000 people. In order to keep organized, we crafted a content calendar which displayed which person would post on a specific day. We also collaborated with one another to decide what these posts were going to be. Erin, I think you're still on mute. That's okay. I can go over this slide. So for the sales message, we did a lot of our communication via text message and emailing. We also use social media and our website, as I mentioned on the marketing slide, specifically Instagram and Facebook, and we did produce one TikTok video. In order to get more employees involved, we created a sales incentive, which provided the employee with the most sales with a gift card. In addition, we created a sales flyer that we emailed to all Aqua Pennsylvania employees, which gathered a lot of sales for our company. And this led us to sell 68 total glasses.
As you can see, the distribution process starts with the customer putting their order on Square. The finance team then looks at the order and orders it on Amazon. And if something goes wrong, the customer gets a refund. We had a total net profit of $183.55. The interesting thing about this year is that the employees raised the capital instead of outside investment. We are proud of the fact that we surpassed our break-even point. One thing that hurt us was that there was a credit card fee on Square. The great thing about this company is we donated all our pay to charity.
And so our number one lesson that we learned this year was the limited opportunity available with our virtual environment. Before Blueview became a company and sold blue light glasses, the students had a difficult time choosing a product to sell. This is because we needed to find a product to only be sold online. This leads into our next struggle of our virtual environment, which is no in-person sales. Without being in person, it was difficult to close a sale. Additionally, collaboration tied into this. It would have been much easier to connect our company if we were in person rather than stuck online. Lastly, branded opportunities were limited. If we were in person, we would have more of a supply chain process to brand our product. Marketing Marketing worked hard to add a personal touch to ensure that customers fully experience Blueview. Ending on a positive note, selling our product allowed us and customers to learn more about the effects of blue light. Thank you guys for your time.
With great pleasure, and I want to begin by saying, great job, Haley, particularly good save. And the ability to think on your feet like that will stand you in such great stead throughout your business career. So great job and great save.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And while my colleagues come online, I'm going to ask you a question. Tell me a little bit about the personal touch that marketing added, because that was a clever twist to alleviate some of the distance caused by the virtual world. How did you do that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of our biggest things is we definitely included, or we mentioned a lot that we were a student-run business, and I think that really elevated our sales because people are more likely to purchase from a company that is run by students instead of like a larger corporation, so it's more personal. And just kind of with small touches, like I know on our Instagram we posted a lot of like inspirational quotes and just like background information about blue light, which isn't typically seen with like larger corporations. And I think one of the coolest things about our company was our logo, which is Blueview with 2 U's, because we designed it with glasses lenses. So I think just small like personal touches like those really made us like stand out and connect more to our customers.
Great answer.
Spoken like a true marketing VP. So this is Al here. Thanks all for the opportunity to judge. I didn't really know what to expect, given this is my first event. I'm not a seasoned expert like Regina, but it was fantastic. I appreciate how difficult this can be to present in this or any other manner. So kudos to you guys. One question that I have, in reading through your report, it showed that you originally anticipated something like 200 units in sales, and you ended up with 69. What do you think contributed to that shortfall versus your original thought?
I kind of think that the reason that we ended up only selling 69 was 68 was the fact that it was an all virtual environment this year. Our company was primarily branded to market. That was the only way kind of to get sales. There was no in-person anything. And I feel like a lot of the competitions or fairs at schools, kind of going around and asking people in person would have definitely boosted that number up. But just the fact that we were limited to this virtual environment and marketing was kind of the only way to get our product across to the people.
Thank you for that, Ann.
Okay. Good question, Al, and great answer. So this is Jim, and my question is more about the core product, right? So when you talk about glasses, there's a utility function. That's the blue light from the screen, but it's also a style. And so I'd imagine there were some early conversations. Did you decide what was your sales positioning, your marketing positioning on this?
I can answer for the sales positioning. So basically, we've noticed the trend that in the past year, blue light glasses have been much more popular, especially because of the environment that we're in. And we noticed, especially our target market was usually around teenagers. And we decided when we were choosing colors, and that's why we chose this product specifically, because it had such a large variety of colors. And we decided to go for black and clear for the style purpose, because it's something that everyone would prefer. It's not just something specific that some people would like better than others. It's like a universal color option. And so we decided to go for that.
Yeah, and just to add to that from a marketing perspective, I know Erin said that we decided on clear and black lenses, as you can see from the ones we're wearing. But we also decided to base our social media and websites around those colors. So if you were to look at our website, there's a lot of blue, that's the primary focus, and then more accent colors of just black and gray to kind of keep the theme consistent throughout our entire product and company.
Cool. And if I can double back on a separate question, I was curious about the square fees you mentioned that surprised you a little bit. Did you look at alternatives early on and different ways to capture money, or did the virtual sales sort of catch you a little off guard at the end and you had to settle?
I'm thinking maybe, go ahead, Erin.
Okay, sorry. My Wi-Fi's been really struggling during this interview. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it definitely surprised us because normally, if it wasn't for this environment we're in, we would be having like in-person communication, in-person selling, and it wouldn't have to go through a vendor like Squarespace. It could just be like an in-person trade of money and product. And so this made it a little bit more difficult because not only were like if you were selling the product to someone, you had to give them the link to Squarespace, so it wouldn't just be like you sold them and then you were done. Like you had to trust that they themselves would buy the product on their own. And it made selling much more difficult, but also because of the environment we're all in, we just have to work with the best of what we can. And I feel like we did that successfully.
Thank you.
You mentioned that, you also mentioned something that I thought was very intriguing. Sorry, say again, Stuart. I'll make it really quick then. You mentioned that your employee investment, you all donated to charity. You also said you did group decisions. How did that work out? Because that's every person participated in the decision-making process. That's not usual in the company program. How did that work out?
So I feel like every single person ended up making specific decisions for their type of team. So that would be marketing, sales, and finance. It was more of a group effort more than just the VP of that specific team making that decision for everybody. Everybody had their input and their idea into it. It was a little bit difficult to get people to speak up and talk just because we were all new and didn't know each other. But overall, the entire experience was, I think, a great opportunity for everyone to voice their opinions and voice their ideas. And so I think that made the group decision making very simple.
Great answer. Thank you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, everybody ready? Oh, sorry guys, I gotta take this.
Corey, stop.
You can't take a call during our presentation.
Forget about that. Do you know how dirty your phone is?
Yeah, when was the last time you cleaned your phone?
Why would I clean my phone?
Corey, your phone is 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat.
10 times?
Don't worry, this product can help. Hi, we're Screenspritz, and we're here to help you live a germ-free life. My name is Angela, and I'm the president of Screenspritz. Our team of 27 students was founded on our company values and the mission to promote a germ-free environment in a way that is simple, affordable, and eco-friendly. Our ultimate goal is to inspire individuals to live a germ-free life on all of their portable devices. As Corey is showing you right now, our product allows you to disinfect your phone with just a spray and a wipe. Now more than ever, it's important to stay safe and clean, which is why we created our phone cleaning kit for this year's program. As a company, we focused on developing an eco-friendly product, engaging our customers, and providing them with a positive ROI. Along the way, we learned about several things, including accountability, making quick decisions, and communication.
Hi, I'm Genevieve and I'm a supply chain specialist. The Screenspritz phone cleaning kit includes a long-lasting cleaning solution spray bottle, a durable and reusable microfiber cleaning cloth, which is available in 10 different colors, and a compact black microfiber pouch that the spray and cloth can be contained in. All these supplies were sourced from Amazon, as it was both cost-efficient and required no physical contact. We established an efficient multi-step production process consisting of product development, quality control, assembly, and distribution, which allowed us to safely produce a total of 200 products. Our grab-and-go product can be stored in handbags, cars, or pretty much anywhere, and selling at a price of only $12, our customers get their money's worth through a long-lasting, eco-friendly, and convenient solution for their dirty phones.
Hi, I'm Mary, the VP of Sales. This year, we built our company by tapping into the insight and reality of needing to live cleaner and more consciously as a result of COVID-19. Through our market research, we gathered that our main customers were teens and adults who use their phones frequently. Our marketing and sales teams worked hard advertising our product to these audiences via social media, newsletters, one-to-one communication, and more. As a result of these efforts, we saw an average of 600 website visits weekly and over $2,000 in sales.
Hi, I'm Corey, Vice President of Finance. We raised an initial $1,000 in startup capital through the bootstrapping method, where investors gave us money which would be redistributed to them along with the profits during liquidation. Selling 176 of our 200 products gave us a revenue of over $2,000. After all expenses accounted for, this left us with a profit of $616 and gave our investors a return of 40%. This also allowed us to make a donation to our local charity partner, the Colonial Neighborhood Council, of $25.
Hi, I'm Tati, a human resources specialist. This year's program has been very valuable to us coworkers. It has not only allowed us to develop business and interpersonal skills that will be useful for the rest of our lives, but it has also taught us so much about doing business and communicating in the online world. Despite challenges we face, we learn the value of accountability through helping each other out, quick decision-making by completing deadlines, and communication specifically through the online world. We as a company succeeded in overcoming many difficulties to be successful.
As you can see, our company is dedicated to cleanliness, environmental consciousness, and providing our customers with the best experience possible. You don't want to be using a phone dirtier than a toilet seat, so let's all live a germ-free life with Screenspritz.
All right, we're ready for the Q&A, Stuart? Okay. So congratulations, it was a very solid open. It was entertaining. I said, wait a minute, am I supposed to start the button now? So that was great. I'm curious about the 40% ROI. Is it, did you find a product that just inherently had a large margin? People didn't know they needed it and didn't have a price point, or was it the packaging together? How did you get such a great return?
We think we got this return because people were really willing to pay a lot of money for our product. We set the price at $12, and we thought that was a good price for us. It gave us a pretty good margin, and people were willing to pay the price. And in the end, it turned out great.
Supply and demand.
There you go.
This is
No, that was a. Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I can wait. No.
Well, I was just going to reiterate what Jim said. That was a fantastic start. At first, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to give them a 3 or 4," and then it was all part of the plan. So that was great, guys. Supply chain is near and dear to my heart. So I'm interested in knowing from Janavi, as you were the supply chain leader, what did you learn through the process? Did you run into any roadblocks with, getting all of these materials together? Kind of what were some of your learnings from a supply chain perspective?
There were definitely a couple roadblocks. One mistake that we initially made was that we ordered stamps as a part of our shipping process because it was a virtual environment, so contact wasn't ideal. But we decided that instead of stamps, it would be a lot more efficient and organized to have each of the supply chain members with the products to ship out the product and then pay the fee of it out of their own pocket and later be reimbursed by finance. So we definitely thought that that worked a lot better.
Great. Thank you.
So you mentioned overcoming many difficulties. I'll ask anyone who wants to answer. What was the biggest challenge your team faced?
Other than, being in the online world, which is something that none of us were really used to, I feel like just in general coming up with activities for us to get closer as a team, because it's very important in a company for everyone to be close, or not close, but willing to work together and just being in a safe and valuable company environment. So not only was it the online world that was quite difficult, but it was just trying to get everyone to participate and everyone to just honestly have a good time and wanting to continue to work. And I feel like we, as a company, did a really good job. We had a lot of team building activities. We had a lot of pitch sales like we're kind of doing now. So just building an overall company environment was one of our main difficulties that we just overcame.
Were you all from close schools? Did you know one another, or was that another challenge? You didn't know one another prior.
Yeah, so there were a couple of people I think that came from the same schools that knew each other, but none of us on the team here knew each other before, and most people in the company didn't know each other. So like Tati brought up, we did have to use a lot of tactics to bring the company closer and just make sure everyone got to know each other and could work together well.
So with that said, what process did you guys use to make decisions if there were people who thought you should go in a different direction?
So with big decisions, such as deciding which product to actually sell in the first place, we did that by initially we narrowed it down to 3 products, and then we used voting because we wanted everyone to have a say within the company. Just everyone's vote was weighted the same, and then we narrowed it down to 2 products, and finally we narrowed it down to the phone cleaner that we have today, and then some other smaller decisions that we didn't feel like needed to be voted on by the executive team.
Great, thank you.
So I'm curious about the marketing. So I caught social media in there, Instagram posts. Did you go through your own social media accounts? Did you purchase? How did you? I mean, was it inevitable that was your only choice just because of the virtual world, or were there some investments made there?
Yeah, so we actually started by making a company email, and then from there we sent it to our marketing VP, and she made a new Instagram account for completely free. Okay. And we would just make sure to stay very similar and use our only company colors, but we didn't have to pay anything. We didn't think that would be necessary, and we still got lots of likes without paying.
Thanks.
Great job.
Nice job.
Team ready?
Ready.
Ready. Ready.
Ready.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are Laughaholic Inc. I'm Nadasan, the Vice President of Supply Chain.
I'm Ayush Karkare. I'm the President.
I'm Ria Kinney. I'm Vice President.
Hi, I'm Shanisha Panda, and I'm a supply chain employee.
Hi, I'm Asfikar Rahman, and I'm also a supply chain employee.
Ran into some obstacles while running our company. These issues were important to know and improve upon, and through our reflection, we analyzed how we can improve upon them in the future. Our mission was to create an outlet for our community to enjoy and connect in a time of disparity, and it was through selling tickets for our virtual events, trivia nights. To ensure that we were assisting beyond our local community, we affiliated with the charity Convoy of Hope. Eventually, our mission and inspiration helped to build our brand, and now we're going to address the takeaways from each department, starting with marketing.
To build our brand and engage with our customers, marketing decided to focus on social media through Instagram, where we had stories, quizzes, posters, and polls. We also ran several ad campaigns where we selected different variables to target a specific audience, like people interested in Jeopardy or people between the ages of 16 and 20. Unfortunately, we failed to sell tickets through our ad campaigns. This may be due to the limited time frame in which we ran the ads or a narrow perception of who our target audience was. From a digital perspective, we successfully pivoted to a more personal approach, as in reaching out to friends and family individually. Throughout marketing's efforts, we were in constant communication with supply chain, where we updated them on trivia themes and gave them other relevant information.
Supply chain was in charge of the operation of the trivia events. We first used the market research to determine the platforms for the event, as well as each event's theme. We also created the company website where the ticket orders were executed and wrote the question sets for each event. Due to the unprecedented change of being in a virtual environment, preparing for how the event would actually run, such as having a smooth conversation between the trivia hosts during the event, was quite challenging. However, we worked diligently, even doing practice runs where we modeled interesting things to say during the event. And ultimately, we created successful trivia events that left both our customers with a memorable experience and our company with revenue, which Ayush will now elaborate upon.
Our 4 successful events resulted in $415 revenue, and with total expenses of $200, we had a net income of $215. Based off of selling 48 shares, our return on investment would have been $10. However, we decided to donate $175 to our charity, Convoy of Hope, and thus our actual return would be $5.83, which is a 16.67% return on investment. And in comparison, in the same time frame, the S&P 500 return on investment was 9.26%. Overall, the finance and sales departments learned several lessons, and so did the company as a whole, and that's exactly what Moss will cover now.
Running a company was a very rewarding experience, and from that we learned many lessons. One of the biggest lessons we learned is the need to adapt to feedback and negative experiences. For example, we received a negative feedback because our customers purchased a ticket immediately before the start of an event, which was an oversight of our processes at the time. This led to us giving the customer a refund. To prevent this from happening in the future, we made sure to check right up to the start of the future events to make sure that every customer had their Zoom link. If this company were to continue, we would try to automate the logistical process of delivering the Zoom links. In addition, we would try to continue applying the lessons we learned in the JA program while also adapting to new information as they come along. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we look forward to your questions.
Yep, I can start with this one if you guys are okay with that. Thanks, team. Great presentation. So reviewing your statement in your annual report, so your financial statement was more detailed than most Fortune 500 annual reports that I've seen. Can someone from the finance team just talk to me a little bit about the process, what you learned from the process and digging into those financials?
Yep, so I'll answer that question. So basically what we did is the finance department, we had a Google spreadsheet where we had everything logged. We didn't have multiple spreadsheets or have multiple of them because that would make things much more complicated and much more complex. So we just tried to keep things simple. We had tabs for specific events and to track our sales in terms of selling our shares and also in terms of tickets. We used 2 things. So first we used Square integration into Jotform, which we talk about in our report. Jotform allowed us to sell tickets while also being able to track them very easily. And the same goes for shares because that was a very easy platform and it was very simple.
And then we learned a lot, and it's really important that it was really important that we tracked everything correctly. That was probably one of the biggest things we needed to remember, because there were multiple times where we miscalculated our numbers and we had to go back and go through it all over again. So if we were to continue, as Moss mentioned, we would try to automate this process as much as possible.
Great, thank you.
I'm going to ask a question. I'd love 2 or 3 people to answer if they would. If you have to look at one accomplishment, what was your biggest accomplishment from your personal perspective, what was it?
I think I can start this one off. I think in my experience, our biggest accomplishment was teamwork, because in this virtual experience, I only know one person, Nahid, but everyone else was not familiar to me. So like we worked so well together as a team. Everybody decided on everything. It was like a collaborative company. So everybody voted on stuff, and also the competition team became great friends. Like we text all the time and we prepare for stuff. So I think our teamwork was great, and it was very key to the success that we had within the company.
Yeah, and to elaborate on what Moss said, I think one of the biggest takeaways, at least for like me, was just like how much we learned from this like entire process. Like going throughout the entire event, like yeah, we made like a couple of mistakes, you know, like especially with the ticket orders and things like that. But like what registered was like how much we learned from that, especially because like before this, I like never knew anything about business or shares or like any financial or anything like that. So like learning about all of this, especially with the help of like, you know, other intelligent, smart, and creative peers, was just really rewarding. It was like also really nice, especially since like, you know, I don't get to see a lot of my friends anymore. It's just like, it was really nice having this kind of interaction every week, just being able to like, you know, laugh and joke and just learn together.
Great. Jim, you want to catch a question?
Yeah, that'd be great. And I just want to acknowledge it's always difficult to stay focused and smiling when you're waiting for your turn to speak. And you guys were amazing on that. I just want to acknowledge that. So you did not do a tangible product, right? So you sold a virtual experience. Did you do any research into like licensing fees, whether it's public, you know, content or technology? Did that factor into your decision making at all?
To go off of that, our licensing, we did a trivia night, so it was the questions that we came up in. So licensing wasn't really an issue, and we use Kahoot, which is a widely known platform. So many teachers and our peers use it. So it wasn't an issue. But I think the key point where we chose between a physical product and a product virtually is shipping, and is shipping costs. And like we were trying to figure out like how would that work. And for our team, we felt that it wouldn't be the best, because everyone in this team has like we were taking AP classes, we're juniors, like it's the busiest year. So for our benefit and for company success, we thought that not having to physically ship out and just sitting is the best option for this company's success.
To elaborate on Moss's point, we actually researched into different shipping platforms for any possible tangible goods that we were doing, and we saw that our main shipping platform, USPS, had a backlog of orders. So if we were to go forward with this decision, it would have indicated that our customers would have gotten delayed products, and that might have jeopardized our company's success. So that's why we sort of went forward with the digital good, where we did not have to worry about that sort of issue rising.
Great. It must have been fascinating conversations as you were forming. Thanks for the answer.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the event itself? Have you received any feedback? And based on that feedback, would you do anything differently with your next product?
Yeah, so just to like start, like going through each event, we definitely learned a lot. You know, like one of the first things that we quickly learned was like, especially like regarding ticket orders, we learned that we should broadcast much more to like family and friends, things like that, because we started with like ad campaigns on Instagram and Facebook, and we quickly realized that that wasn't very efficient, and it was like a waste of our resources, because we wouldn't get enough orders from that. Whereas like in the later events, when we reached out more locally and personally, we received much more wider plethora of orders. And also to comment on your other question about the feedback that we received, like both personally and like through the event, we definitely received a lot of like encouraging and like good feedback. Like a lot of people told us how this was like something that like made their whole day like a lot better, and how like it was like this like ray of sunshine in their otherwise bleak day, especially with how like Zoom and being all alone in the home, it was like a nice way to have a break from that and really like get like caught up in the excitement of like, you know, trying to like win a prize, something that like they weren't like, you know, used to, especially with this entire pandemic. So yeah, we did get a lot of positive feedback, and yeah.
To just finish up the point, sorry. We also received a lot of negative feedback. I was one of the hosts along with Samiksha, and we took a lot of constructive criticism where we, the host, may have talked on a bit too long, not gone efficiently, or we just weren't funny enough. So that meant we had to do a lot of practice sessions where we wrote jokes, wrote commentary, and we practiced it to make sure that we had it perfectly for the events. So if we were to continue this in the future, I think we would have to plan out our commentary a bit more efficiently, and also make sure that we practice it enough that we know perfectly how to operate these events.
Great, thank you so much.
Excellent.
And before we finish, sorry, can I? And before we go on our break, I would just like to shout out our mentors, but especially Matt Spencer. He was the reason we did all of this. So Matt, I know you're here, and thank you for everything you've done.
Okay. Thanks. Nice job.
Be ready.
Ready.
Young children everywhere are struggling in these hard times due to COVID. Research has found that children in 65% of households are learning exclusively online. What out there could possibly cure a child's boredom as well as provide a fun learning opportunity? Imagine that you are that child. You're stuck at home and all of your friends are in quarantine. Suddenly, robots are taking over the planet and you need to save the human race. The cure is on Mars, but how do you get there? All you're given is a single balloon, so using your imagination, you make a balloon rocket and launch yourself into a space adventure.
Our mission at Inventors Adventure is to promote innovation and problem solving among young children through engaging stories and activities.
I'm Max.
I'm Ayud.
I'm Gersarat.
I'm Sonia.
Julie.
We achieve this mission with our product, Science Adventure. Based on our market research, we found our target market to be parents and teachers of 6 to 14-year-old children. And to differentiate ourselves against our competitors, like KiwiCo, we needed our products to be more than just a single experiment in a box. Not only does our kit include most materials to complete 5 experiments, but through a one-of-a-kind storybook, we take the child on a round-trip space adventure from Earth to Mars, where they face challenges such as building a catapult to launch themselves back home to save the human race.
One of the challenges we faced was how to produce our invention efficiently without being face-to-face. We solved this problem with a contactless hub and spoke system to distribute materials and assemble product kits while maintaining quality standards. We achieved this in under 4 days between 15 households with no loss of inventory or COVID spread. Another challenge we faced was reaching our target market. We executed our marketing strategy using social media and our email list, but sales were not taking off. To expand, buy feature, where customers purchase kits for children in need. This was a shooting star for us. These purchases totaled over $1,300 in donated product, providing a kit to every girl in Girls First and 28 kits to the Boys and Girls Club, landing a 66% increase in our total sales.
Once our sales blasted off, we sold our entire inventory of 146 kits, which after expenses generated $1,800. To give back to our community, we donated 10% of our profits to iPraxis, which aligns. We also increased value to our shareholders by raising our profit margin from 57% to 70% by hand delivering wherever possible. This resulted in a 342% ROI.
We learned that a small group of high school students in a company really can have a significant impact. It was amazing to hear how our product engaged and inspired children. One customer went as far as creating their own fan fiction based on our story. Through this adventure, we have grown both personally and as a team through developing delegation and communication skills, navigating how to work in an all-virtual environment, and being part of an ownership culture. We took time in each meeting to recognize all company achievements, including praising members who went above and beyond.
The sky's the limit and where we can go next and continuing to inspire young inventors. Future plans have focused on expanding our product line through additional adventure themes, increasing our sales outlets to physical venues, and growing our community to be more connected through our website and social media. With a high-performing team, strong demand, and engaging products, our adventure has only begun to imagine, invent, and inspire. Are you ready to join us on our adventure?
I think I'm absolutely blown away by your ROI, which is fantastic. This is Regina speaking. Tell us how did you help with this idea? What was the conversation? How did it emerge from your team?
I'm sorry, you cut out for me a bit. Could you repeat your question?
Sure. I was asking if you could expand on what was the genesis of this great idea that resulted in a 342% ROI. How did it emerge from the team?
Yeah, so when we came together as a team, there is multiple products and ideas that we all kind of came together and voted on. And a lot of what the vote had to do with was to really be kind of under some certain guidelines of which was kind of best in all these areas, such as, cost to make, demand for the product, things like that. So this product scored really high in all those areas and really did have a strong demand because of the huge problem facing our community that it really helped to solve. So.
Great. Jim, do you want to go next or would you like me to go?
Well, why don't you go?
Thanks. Really strong presentation, team. Congratulations on that and taking a look at your company report. Just the way that it's laid out is fantastic. Obviously good descriptions and colors and just a really good way to kind of draw the individual in. Because supply chain can be fairly complex. I couldn't see necessarily what the structure of the supply chain looks like, the roles and responsibilities, how you develop that. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So as we had mentioned in our presentation, we used a hub and spoke method. So as you said, it was a very complex process and we needed to stay organized. So we had all materials needed to assemble the kits delivered to a central hub where they were organized into bags. Company members were then able to come to this hub, pick up a bag with enough supplies to make, I believe it was 20 kits, 20 kits. And then they were able to take this home, make the products by themselves, and then they received further instructions regarding shipping or delivery methods.
Great, thank you. Was there a central person who was kind of responsible for leading the supply chain, or was it fully a bit of a team effort?
I was actually the VP of supply chain, so I did manage a lot of the inventory tracking and just making sure products were getting to the right place. But overall, it was a team effort as there were so many moving parts involved.
Great, thank you.
So I'd like to ask a little bit about the pivot in the target audience. So you started with parents and teachers, and I think your words, you decided to pivot to more of a target for purchasing for children in need. I'd imagine early on, it kind of hurt a little bit, you weren't selling. And how did you guys process that as a team and actually make that pivot?
Of course, yeah. And like all the other teams I mentioned, working in an online environment really has been different. But we really wanted to make sure that we were able to adapt really quickly. So early on, we were seeing that between marketing and social media efforts on online and things like that, we knew and planned for them to take time to really start to develop and compound over time. So in the beginning kind of areas of that, sales were slow, yes, and mostly limited to our personal connections when it came to finding these parents and teachers of small children. So when we started to see that and started to analyze, how can we still achieve our goal of completely selling out within such a small time frame? So then we developed this idea, which was able to obviously broaden our market to really anybody in our community who had a desire to give back. So, just kind of analyzing and being able to adapt and plan well is really how we were able to achieve that.
So I add on to that sort of from the sales aspect. I was a sales member. Towards the later part of the progress, our sort of sales numbers, the graph, it started off slow. But then towards the last few weeks, it was growing exponentially. I mean, double exponentially too. If we had a few more weeks, I'm sure we would have doubled our numbers.
You would put pressure on your supply chain if you did that. So you got to work together.
No, but to that end, I think, and you mentioned the pivot, another good pivot that I think I saw in there was that they increased their price, right? Supply and demand. So, they were at 50-something%, went up to 70% in relation to the demand that was out there in the system. So a question to that, because it seems to be a fantastic product, fantastic response in a non-COVID world. Any thoughts on how you would then, again, potentially pivot what your sales and marketing plan may look like in order to continue with the business?
Mm-hmm. Of course, yes. So there's, especially if there's non-COVID, there's tons of ways we can span, really endless. A few to name, just to name a few, would be physical venues, such as having our products within stores and having others kind of physical sales hubs or places where we could sell our product to kind of increase, awareness of our product, as well as kind of help engage the community even more by using, social media methods and things like that to kind of help everyone really come together, whether they're, halfway across the world or not. As well as kind of increasing, more kits, just having more kits and other options to our kits with different things and stuff would also, and have those in our physical venues would also increase the demand further. So
additionally, just to add on again, we know that these methods would be successful because we recently got great customer feedback on our product right now. One of the board members of Junior Achievement actually said that she called it exactly what her children needed at the time, because her children, it was a dream come true for them because they were able to get this hands-on experience in just a small box and learn so much valuable information, both science and in writing and reading as well.
Sounds like you may have something there.
Well done.
Great job.
Thank you.